Hello, welcome back to We Are City channel for today's episode of the FC26 career mode with Manchester City, and things have been going pretty fantastically. In the last episode, we had a really good episode, a really good month in March. Now, we did lose 4-2 to Athletic Club, didn't we? And then we came back with a valiant 4-0 win at home to go through in the UEFA Champions League. Today's episode, we've got 4 games in store, and I think we're going to have to extend this Season 1 by maybe 1 episode to 15 episodes and fill it out like that, because we've got so many games, doing so well in so many competitions, and the games are coming thick and fast. So we're going to play Chelsea at home to kick off today's episode, or Chelsea at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final, the first chance of silverware of today's episode and the first chance of silverware of this series. We then got Villa at home in the Cup, 2 games against Frankfurt in the Champions League home and away, and also away to Chelsea. So we'll have to see how we fit those games in. I think if we maybe pick the FA Cup game against Villa at home, but maybe we simulate that one and then play the other games. Obviously, into the next episode, Arsenal at home's pretty much a title race game. Palace we might simulate at home, Burnley away. But the big games keep on coming though. These are the last 4 games of the season. We play Villa at home on the last game of the season. We've got Bournemouth away, Brentford at home, and Everton away. That is a pretty difficult running, especially the Everton away game, the Bournemouth away game, and the Villa home game. The 3 games we really want to play. We could have a Champions League semi-final sandwiched in between there, perhaps even an FA Cup semi-final, and we mustn't forget as well, there will be, at some point at the end of that, maybe at the start of June, a Champions League final perhaps, and maybe even an FA Cup final as well. So lots of games coming thick and fast. We're going to do 15 episodes in this series. Today's episode is episode 12, so only a few more remaining. Let's get into the start of this one. The first thing is that cup final, the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. Well, you can see City and Chelsea's road to the final. Chelsea beating Leeds United in the semi-final. We beat Newcastle. In the quarterfinals, Chelsea knocked out Liverpool. We knocked out Brighton. And in round 4, it was Chelsea knock out Leyton Orient. We knocked out Queen's Park Rangers. Before that, we knocked out Nottingham Forest. And Chelsea, they went out and knocked out Rotherham only on penalties. So both of us have had a bit of a shake, a bit of a wobble at some stage in this competition. Pep Guardiola must do his press conference before this one. Neto has been lighting it up for Chelsea recently, apparently. Can Nuri stop him after that performance against Athletic Club at the end of the last episode? I think he'd be fantastic. He'd stop a train if he wanted to, says Pep Guardiola. Is Phil Foden key to the plans? Encourage Phil Foden. He's not been at his best, Phil Foden. Ryan Cherki was amazing at the end of the last episode. And then finally, all about Rodri. He's either the solid man to keep at the base of the midfield, celebrate Rodri's form. City are in great form going into this one. Well, as a fan, I'd like to know how Chelsea are doing. For whatever reason, it's not showing me the last 5 results in colour, but you can see there the side they have got. That is the predicted starting 11. I can't see Mark Gurley starting up top. I assume it will be João Pedro up there. And Tariq George seems to be very, very popular under Enzo Maresca, starting off that left-hand side. As well, Axel Disasi back in from the cold, perhaps starting this Chelsea side. You can see Caicedo, Key, Palmer, Neto, Enzo Fernandez as well. I'd just like to see not the competition stats, but the total stats. Who is the top goal scorer for Chelsea this season? It is, in fact, Liam Delap, 15 goals, so maybe he starts up top. Gittins has got 14 as well. Palmer only 10. The most creative player also is Pedro Neto with 7 assists. Raheem Sterling has only made 1 appearance all season. What a mistake he made, leaving Manchester City when he did. Let's decide we know with against Chelsea today with a few rotations in the side. Ake misses out in the squad, Kusanov misses out in the squad, El Hilali misses out in the squad, as well as someone else that are not in the side today. We do want to go with a stronger side, and those players aren't quite in there, which is a big shame for them to miss out. No Ryan McCady either. He's fantastic, but he's not in the squad. So we go James Trafford in goal. It's Nunez, Diaz, Vardiol, and Nuri City's back 4. It's Bernardo Silva, the captain, Rodri, and Phil Foden in the midfield 3. Savinho, Bob, and Haaland, City's front 3 tier. On the bench, we've got Marmoush, Doku, Cherki, Reinders, Stones, O'Reilly, Lewis, and Nico Gonzalez, as well as Marcus Bettinelli. I think it's a bit of a disappointment maybe for Marmoush not to start today, because he is the top scorer in this competition. But I want him to come on in off the left, and Savinho's been playing really well on that left-hand side. I would have started Doku, he's a little bit tired. I would have started Cherki ahead of Foden, but Cherki's not quite fully fit either after that recent performance against Athletic Club where he was absolutely fantastic. There are the 2 teams, fans, 2 players arriving at the stadium today. Wembley is where this will go ahead. The Carabao Cup final, a trophy that is on the line for both Manchester City and Chelsea. Enzo Maresca, he's looking to, of course, win this one with Chelsea today, as everyone is. I mean, he's not won many trophies for Chelsea so far. This is the EFL Cup final, the Carabao Cup final, and Wembley Stadium is ready for a big one. The atmosphere will be great. Reece James captains the side. He starts with Chelsea. Maybe there's an expectation he won't. Bernardo Silva starts for us, and both sides go, throughout this competition with a rotated team. Today, I think we all go with our best team. Erling Haaland, 4 goals in the previous game against Athletic Club. It felt like it would be impossible not to start Haaland in this final. He had to start. He does start. And I'm sure Chelsea start with maybe the likes of Gittins, Delap, the players that have been scoring the goals for them as well. The final is upon us, and we're all excited to see one of these sides come out with a big win. And here's the Chelsea side then. So they have got Disasi on the bench. Liam Delap is there, Pedro Neto, Andre Santos. In goals, that's Jorgensen, it's Cucurella, Adrayo Chalva, and Reece James the back four. Asugio and Fernandes in the midfield too. Estevao, Garnacho and Gittins, the 3 very attacking players behind João Pedro up top. And there is the Manchester City side shaking hands with the officials today. Hopefully have a good game because we need them to. We'll run for the City side once again. The Pep Guardiola, a very strong side for City in this final. Could have been stronger. Donnarumma is not in the squad. So Trafford in goal, Aït-Nouri, Vardy, Diaz and Nunez the back 4, Rodri, Foden, Bernardo Silva midfield 3. It's Bob, Haaland and Savinho, City's front 3. In a final, Pep Guardiola loves Oscar Bob. Maybe Bob's not gotten the chances that he wanted this season at times. Savinho, round Reece James, really by Savinho, this one in. Haaland attacks it here, away by Chelsea in the box. Garnacho picks it up, number 49. Trafford, that's brilliant from the goalkeeper, who is battling to start ahead of course, Donnarumma. Difficult because we know his goal-keeping ability is unbelievable. As Rodri gives the ball away in a terrible position here. And here's João Pedro, and he's terrible from Rodri. And João Pedro lifts it over James Trafford, and Chelsea have the lead in the cup final. Well, Rodri, since that new contract, has had some strange moments. And there's another one in the Carabao Cup final, and Chelsea have the lead. What is Rodri doing? Gives it away. João Pedro is through. Lifts it over James Trafford. And Chelsea have an early lead. And what is Rodri doing? Gittins, João Pedro. Nunez has left a lot of space and he's exposed Diaz against Gittins. Good dribbler by now Gittins. Diaz can't stop him. Gittins past him. To the box here. By no Gittins! Trafford can't save 2-0. Well, what a performance by Chelsea in this Carabao Cup final. And City have got to come from 2 goals behind here. What are we doing? I mean, that's shocking from Diaz. No surprise. Bino Gittins goes through. Puts it past Trafford for 2-0. But Oscar Bob in space here. Bob for City. Cucurella recovers. Bob keeps it away from him. Bob. Oscar Bob! And a save by Jorgensen. Right towards Oscar Bob. Bernardo Silva. Into Oscar Bob. Trouble. Bob. Howell is there! Header is poor and into the hands of Jorgensen. Oh, to pull one back before half time, that would have been fantastic. Just can't do. And that is half time, 2-0 down to Chelsea. This City side have to come out a different level in that second half. Because for a cup final, this has been a terrible performance. It really has. Savinho. Didn't want to put that cross in. Haaland wasn't there. Foden. It's Rodri for City, saved by Jorgensen. Hit it with so much power. Chalobah, Fernandes, Garnacho. City got to be careful here. Garnacho. Vardy cuts it out, well played. Aït-Nouri. Vardy, Rodri. Again, City can come forward here. Rodri. Pings running behind towards Savinho. Brilliant pass, Savinho. In behind to Foden. Clips one in. Haaland against Cucurella. He's winning that battle. 2-1 City back in it. Go get that ball, Erling Haaland. 2-1. City are back in it in this final. Well, Haaland against Cucurella was always named that way. Great lift in by Phil Foden. Haaland gets another goal for himself. Savinho in behind. Foden lifts it in. And Haaland just bullies Cucurella out the way. Heads it past Jorgensen. Thumping header by Erling Haaland. And Esker not happy. Pep Guardiola certainly will be. That's 2-1. And City are back in this game. Bernardo. Space for Oscar Bob. Brilliant by City. Oscar Bob here. Bob. Just to poke it through to Haaland. Former City man Tosin Adrayo cuts it out. Cavadio working so hard to go and get that back. Nunez to Aït-Nouri. City really pushing now. Foden. Haaland. Savinho. Foden's in! Foden saved by Jorgensen and cleared away. Oh, Bob's in again here. Oscar Bob. Across the box. Foden's there! There you go! 2-2. Phil Foden won them one time, minutes before. And this time he gets the equaliser for 2-2. And City come back in this cup final. Brilliant performance in the second half. That first half was terrible. It was a bit like the Athletic Club game away from home. Oscar Bob's been fantastic on the right hand side. He's there again creating into Phil Foden. And Manchester City are backing it at 2-2. And credit to Oscar Bob. He's had a fantastic game today. Play. Guardiola. Into Rodri. City trying to find that breakthrough. Nunez. Oh, Nunez with a shocking pass here. Terrible. Gittins. Against Diaz. Look at Diaz go here. Nowhere near him. Nunez. Good recovery challenge behind for a corner for Chelsea. Behind it towards Reece James defending it. Had to do something with it there. Very dangerous pass by Shaqiri. I think that is extra time in the final. I don't think this one goes straight to penalties. City no. There's a lot more minutes yet to play to try and win this one. Hard fought competition between the two sides. 2-2 in the game. Both scoring in either half. Sarsi. Feet from the big Frenchman. Guardiola cuts it out like Neri. They're pushing people forward here. Foden. Reinders. Foden. Through to Marmoush here. Omar Marmoush! Top goal scorer in the competition for a reason. And he scores off the bench in extra time. 3-2 Manchester City, and it's Omar Marmoush with the goal. On his weaker left foot, he hits it with power. He hits it across Jorgensen. And he gives City the lead in the Carabao Cup final. And this could be our first trophy. Slid through by Phil Foden for another assist. And Omar Marmoush, what a finish. Onto that weaker left foot. Hits it with power. Across Miller Jorgensen. No chance for him. And Manchester City now have a 3-2 lead. What a comeback. Rodri White to Shaqiri. Reinders. Haaland's in. Haaland to finish the game. He's offside. Shaqiri has changed that. I mean, Bob was brilliant off the right-hand side. Haaland's frustrated. He's offside there. Ryan Shaqiri is just unbelievable. Also brought on John Stones the back for right Neri. Vardy goes to left back. Because we know there's going to be an onslaught. Chelsea attacks here. We want to defend them well as a team. Vardy goes to left back. He hasn't put that one out. Neto. Diaz wrong side here. Diaz good defending. Oh, Diaz! Good save by Trafford away. Straight back to them again. Another save by Trafford. And away by Nunez. Well played, James Trafford. Out to Kukureya. Nunez can't get the tackle in. Edge of the box they go. The Sarsi. Reina's the great challenge. Reina's away. Up to Erling Haaland. Full-time whistle goes. There you have it. We win our first trophy of the season. Manchester City are Carabao Cup winners. It certainly wasn't an easy final. 2-0 down at half-time, you think Manchester City are in trouble. You think we can't do it. But no, this side showed resilience. This side showed determination to come back. And we do come back. And we will lift the Carabao Cup trophy. Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, Rodri, Erling Haaland, our 4 captains in the side. They will lift a trophy for the first time this season. Last year, we were terrible. Last year, we were, trophyless. Last year, we didn't win anything at all. Pep Guardiola's rebuilt this side alongside Sporting Director Hugo Viana on the Manchester City board. We've rebuilt something, I think, which is something quite special. A complete new goalkeeping department. Missing maybe a right back, we've addressed that in January. Things haven't worked out so well so far for that. But the likes of Ryan Shaqiri, Tajani Reinders, Omar Marmoush in the January transfer window. These players have come in and made a massive difference. Reunite Newry at left back. And that means to kick off today's episode, Manchester City, the Carabao Cup winners. Trophy 1 of this series down. 3 more, hopefully, still to go. Can we win a quadruple? Well, it's an Emirates FA Cup quarter-final for Manchester City up next. Aston Villa at home. Now, we have to prioritise the more games, or the more sort of important trophies to us. That is the Premier League and, of course, the Champions League. In today's episode, we'll be playing Champions League and Premier League games. One against Chelsea and perhaps a back-to-back double against Eintracht Frankfurt. For that reason, being in the quarter-final of Champions League and in a real deep title race, we are going to simulate this game against Villa in the quarter-final and hope the side can turn up in the FA Cup. If they can, we'll be going to a semi-final at Wembley, returning to Wembley once again. This is how I'm going to go against Villa today. In goal starts James Trafford. It's Kassav, captain Stones, Ake, Nico Riley the back 4, Nico Reinders and Shaqiri in the midfield 3, Bob Haaland and Marmoush the front 3. We've got Savinho, Doku, Foden, Luis Kovacic, Ait Nuri, El Hilali and also Ruben Diaz on that City bench. Hopefully that is a side that can get us to a semi-final of the FA Cup. And massively disappointing. We said we wanted to concentrate on the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. Well, the Premier League and the Champions League. We've just won the Carabao Cup. Unfortunately, an Oscar Bob penalty missed. Foden misses as well, as does Omar Marmoush. A 2-2 draw during the game. Can we see the game or who scored the goals? I'm not quite sure. Will it go all the way down? Well, this is how things went. So Watkins missed the penalty in the 4th minute. Oscar Bob opened the score in the 8th. Immediate equaliser from Watkins in the 11th. Into the second half, Manchester City score through Omar Marmoush in the 82nd. And again, a very, very swift equaliser from Ollie Watkins in the 87th. Extra time, nothing happens. They take us to penalties. Watkins scores, Haaland scores, Tielemans scores, Omar Marmoush misses. Elliott misses, Shaqiri scores, McGinn misses, Foden misses, Lucadinha scores. It's all on Oscar Bob. And the forward misses as well. That is really disappointing. He got an 8.3 rating for his performance in the game, but he misses the penalty there. Manchester City 2, Villa 2, we're out of the FA Cup. What a disappointing way to go out, but we've got to fit all these things into this series. We'll be back next season, and we'll get much further, I'm sure. And going through the FA Cup, Newcastle knockout Arsenal by 3-2, Swansea knockout Bournemouth by 3-1, and Liverpool knockout Man United by 4-2. That means it's going to be an interesting FA Cup semi-final between Villa, Newcastle, Swansea and Liverpool. We can put that FA Cup defeat behind us, that frustrating defeat against Aston Villa on penalties, and look towards the UEFA Champions League, because that is where we want to have most of our success this season. This is the quarterfinal draw. We take on Eintracht Frankfurt, which is probably the best draw of all the teams there. Atletico Madrid take on Liverpool, Real Madrid take on Paris Saint-Germain, and Juventus take on Newcastle. That means one of Liverpool, Atleti, and Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain are going to get knocked out, which is massive for us, especially when we want to go far in this competition. Juve will be difficult to play against, but I think we'd beat them. Newcastle, I'd back myself against them. Obviously, back myself against Frankfurt today at home. But Atleti, Liverpool, Paris Saint-Germain, and Real Madrid are difficult. I want to avoid Liverpool at all costs. They've already beat us twice in the Premier League this season. Well, it's interesting to see how Frankfurt do line up. Their form is actually at the bottom, but it's all in white. Must be a new glitch on the game. They have won 3 and drawn 2. It's very hard to see in that bottom right corner. That is the side they're going to go with. They've got some really good players in there. Doan on the right, Bahoya on the left. They could play Knauf, they could play Brown as well at left back, but it's Teatra in there, Robin Koch and Collins is expected. Zatero, who's a goalkeeper City wanted if Ortega was to leave the other summer. Burkhardt up top, they've got Özil, they've got Hugo Larsson, everything at Manchester City as well. That's a really, really good side for Frankfurt, and you can see why they've made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. If you look at the team stats, we'll see who is really performing the best for them. So their most used player so far this season, well, we can't see it. Oh, there we are. Burkhardt's played 39 games alongside Doan. He's got 22 goals, Burkhardt. Bahoya's got 9, 10 assists as well. Goetze, 8 goals. Doan, 8 goals. Özil has got quite a few goals as well. Some really good performers in that side. And Bahoya, I mean, 9 goals and 10 assists from the young 20-year-old. He's certainly a player for the future, as is Can Özil, who's got 7 goals and 7 assists. Doan's playing very well as well. Hugo Larsson, a very good midfielder, only 21 years of age. So they've really got some top quality players in there. Stefan Ortega, of course, a Frankfurt player. He left and joined them in the January transfer window, and it's expected that maybe he'll be on the bench, but not started as a terror. Well, Frankfurt at home today, and Pep Guardiola goes with a different formation and changes that he thinks are going to really take on this Frankfurt side, and that is with Marmoush and Haaland playing together. So Donnarumma starts in goal. It's El Hilali, Kusanov, Vardiol, and Reunite New in the back four. El Hilali is back to his happiness now. He's happy again. He seems to have got over that homesickness, which is great to see. Rangers and Rodri starting midfield too. It's a very attacking City side, really. Rodgers and Rangers starting midfield too, with Foden on the right, Doku on the left, and it's Marmoush and Haaland together through the middle. That, I think, will help us with our press, and I think they won't be able to handle Doku and Foden inside, and the fullbacks overlapping on the outside. Rangers crashed into the box, Marmoush and Haaland together to the centre together. Savinho, Lewis, Bernardo Silva, the captain, Kovacic, Diaz, Nunes, O'Reilly, Nico, and also Trafford on the bench. No Ake, no Stones, no Shirky, no Bob today. They would be in the squad. Shirky, I wanted to actually start in that position that Foden's playing, but unfortunately he's tired, not quite fit. Those 4 players do struggle for stamina a little bit, don't they? So UEFA Champions League action here at the Etihad. First impression for this new man for Frankfurt, Ginter, who actually holds the captain's armband as well. That's an interesting one. He's been signed and he starts his first game against Manchester City at the Etihad. I can't see that being the case for them. So Manchester City versus Eintracht Frankfurt. They've done really well to get to the quarterfinal of this competition, but they come up against one of the European powerhouses in us, Manchester City. Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain left in the competition. Also Newcastle and Juventus, so some big teams there. They have beaten, on the way, I'm not sure. Olympiacos, I think, to get to this quarter-final, possibly. Big game in the Champions League. City captained by Rog today with no Diaz, no Bernardo Silva. Interested to see how they do line up, because I do believe former Manchester City man Stefan Ortega, there he is, starts for Frankfurt today. Let's see how they line up, and can they be a side to take on Manchester City and cause an upset? Athletic Club are close, but the Etihad is a fortress, a big place to come and try and get a big win. It's pretty difficult for them, I feel. There is the Manchester City side ready, and here is the Eintracht Frankfurt side for their pre-match photo. Theatre in there, Hugo Larsson, Knauf, Brown, some really, really good players. Does Özil start? I think he doesn't do. I don't think Bahoya starts either, which is interesting. So let's see how they do line up today. So Stefan Ortega does start at Michael Zetera in goal. No captain Kosh, he's out for Ginter. It's Christensen, Ginter, Theatre and Brown the back four. Larson, Shaqiri in the midfield two. Chiami, Doan and Knauf. Burkhardt up top, that's defensive. They're playing sort of more of a holding midfielder attacking role. No Bahoya, no Özil, and no Goetze either. A bit of a difficult run of form recently. Doku. Marmoush. Doku on the overlap again. Doku into the box towards Foden. Foden tries to head it away from Brown here. Brown's lost it. Foden on the volley, and Foden hits that wide. Left over to Doku here. Well, the fullback has got a winger with him all the time as well, which makes it very difficult for City in those wide areas. Into Haaland. Lays it off to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri on the right foot. He's dragged it just past the post. His Liga man himself. And he plays the ball into Charlton Doku. And City can come out. And they're in trouble here. Doku to Marmoush. Good slide through to Doku. Into this man Haaland. Haaland back on towards Marmoush. Good defending. Rangers again. In behind to Doku again. Marmoush. Reinders. To Johnny Reinders into the hands of Stefan Ortega. He didn't quite catch that one. Here's Erling Haaland. Foden. El Hilali. Into the box. Marmoush! Oh, big save by Stefan Ortega. Marmoush can't score against his former side corner ball. Foden over it. Foden in. El Hilali attacks it away to Aït-Nouri. Back out to Phil Foden. Aït-Nouri. Swings one in. Marmoush to the far post. What a save by the keeper. Rodri, Marmoush, Rodri. Back to Marmoush. Pocket space to Doku and back into Marmoush. There's space to run to for now for Omar Marmoush. And he goes wide to Haaland. And on towards Aït-Nouri. Back into Doku. And Jeremy. Doku for Manchester City. Another save by Stefan Ortega. Oh, terrible pass. He telegraphed that one. Here's now. He's a great fullback to recover, but he hasn't done that. City in trouble. Burkhardt. And Vardiel dives in. And it's Bahoya! And there you go. Frankfurt do get an upset at the Etihad. And Jean-Matteo Bahoya scores only their second shot of the game. On the counter, El Hilali gives it away on that right-hand side. And City pounced upon. Theatre lumps it away. Kasanov. Haaland. Turn. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester City 0, Frankfurt 1. Well, we've had to come back from these situations before. And we're going to have to come back from these situations again. In the quarter-final, we're behind to Frankfurt and Stefan Ortega in goal. What a performance he had. Well, look at those match facts, by the way. 7 shots for Manchester City, which is not many, really. Frankfurt 2. Well, Stefan Ortega, man of the match today against his former side. What a performance by the German. So a terrible performance against Frankfurt, and that is referred in the ratings, on the Finalysis ratings. I mean, the lowest rated today, Phil Foden 61. He felt pretty much non-existent, really, at times in that midfield for Manchester City. He didn't make the impact that we wanted at all from him. It was frustrating, really. Rangers as well in midfield wasn't great. I thought Marmoush had a good game against his former side. Stefan Ortega, really, the man who stopped him scoring. And Doku was heavily involved in nearly everything, but it wasn't enough. I mean, El Hilali getting a low rating. He gave away the ball for the Frankfurt goal. Donnarumma could have done better. Kusanov and Vardiel defending poorly as well. City could all do with that second leg, haven't we? Because we could be going out here in the Champions League against the side that no one's expected to even get to the quarter-final stage. They can't knock us out. An agreed departure for January's Marcarito. He's going to join Sporting Lisbon on a 12-month loan to form a side of Hugo Viana. I think that's a good move for him to develop in the Portuguese league first after coming from Argentina, and then we can see where he sits and where he is as a player. So Manchester City are 5 points close off the Premier League table, and we have 2 games in hand. I'm not sure what's going on with Liverpool, Arsenal and Newcastle. We face 10th place Chelsea here today. That would take that lead massively forward, and a win today against Chelsea would put us in a great place in the Premier League, winning it. They're down in 10th, Chelsea, having a bad season. I can't believe how far ahead we are in the title race. You know, we were behind. We've lost 4, drawn 5. I mean, Liverpool drawing 13 games, Arsenal drawing 11 games. Clearly, there's something that needs to be coded to make these teams win more games, turn those draws into wins, because it makes it not really a title race. We face Chelsea, and then we need to start worrying about that game against Eintracht Frankfurt, don't we? Away from home in the Champions League. Let's decide what to go with against Chelsea today. In goal starts Gianluigi Donnarumma. It's Nunes, Stones, Diaz and O'Reilly in that back 4. Captain Bernardo Silva, Nico comes in and Reinders in a midfield 3. Savinho on the right, Doc on the left and Erling Haaland through the middle. We have the likes of Bob, Shaqiri, Foden, Kovacic, Vardy, Alake, Aitnieri and Rico Lewis on the bench. No Rodri, no Kusanov. And no Marmoush either. They're rested because they will be used for that game against Frankfurt. And of course, as early as possible, I'm going to try and get the likes of Haaland off, Doku off. Maybe even Ruben Diaz, perhaps he will play against Frankfurt. I'm not quite sure. But Ake can come in. Shirky can go up top. But I want Shirky to play as well against Frankfurt. I think what worked really well against Athletic Club was playing those 2 10s in Shirky and Foden. We were so creative. I think we've got to do the same again when we go away from home. But mind on the Chelsea game now. We need to win this one as well and give ourselves a real big lead at the top of that Premier League table. So away to Stamford Bridge go Manchester City, the side that they beat in the Carabao Cup final. The side that got us our first and only trophy so far this season, but we know we're on course for a Premier League title after some poor performances throughout the season from Newcastle, Chelsea and Liverpool to really start drawing too many games. And the title race is now on. West Ham, they look like they're down and out, don't they, down there at the bottom. City versus Chelsea, Carabao Cup winners against the second place Carabao Cup side. And all eyes really on that Frankfurt game in the Champions League, but we've got to get this game out of the way. Keep our heads, play as one the best we can. Hernandez. Neto. Good spin by Pedro Neto on O'Reilly. He has a cross, ball in behind towards João Pedro. It could be like the other game, and John Stones, what a block. Nico. Matheus Nunes. Back to Nico. Back to Reinders. Oh, brilliant little drop of the shoulder by Reinders here. Then into Haaland by Reinders. And Erling Haaland is saved by Jorgensen. That's fantastic play by Reinders. Unlucky corner ball. Wants that support. It's a swing one in towards Bernardo Silva. Away by Cucurella out towards this man. Doku, and again another poor pass by Nunes. Every pass is pounced upon by Chelsea. Why'd they go to Cucurella? Stones quickly across. Oh, Cucurella's done him as well. And a ball in behind to Gittins. City in trouble here because Diaz is slow to get across. Ruben Diaz with a crunching challenge. Penalty. He's not quick, Diaz, so you have to hope that maybe he can make a good challenge every now and again. But he certainly doesn't. Slides in. How does he not get the ball there? Come on, Donnarumma. João Pedro. They always go down the middle, and this time they don't. João Pedro, top right-hand corner. Just a little bit slack in possession in our passing. Doku against Reece James here. Runs him initially. Doku in. Haaland with a header! Just past the post by Erling Haaland. But we're not really giving him much chances here today, Erling Haaland. A draw wouldn't be a bad result for City today. Oh, Reinders nicks it. And Reinders plays Haaland here. And Erling Haaland straight at Jorgensen. Cucurella did really well to get across to him. Palmer, good tackle by Nico. Shaqiri, Haaland, Savinho. Come on, Savinho. Savinho for City. Savinho! Goal for Savinho. City 1-1. Pouncing a Chelsea mistake. He's only his second of the season. His goal scoring record is still absolutely terrible. But that's a big goal for Savinho. Played in by Haaland, I think. And off he goes. Kovacic for Nico on a yellow card. And a good finish by Savinho. Come on. 1-1. Nice spin by João Pedro. Cross comes in. Diaz away! Donnarumma has to punch it away. What is Ruben Diaz doing? Corner ball. Crossing. Rins away. Is Savinho. Counter City. And Savinho's got pace here. Into Haaland. And he sends Doku in. They could be in trouble, Chelsea. Doku. Doku for City. Doku. Erling Haaland saved by Jorgensen. Why not take an extra touch? Shaqiri back into Doku. Brilliant. Jeremy Doku. Oh, big save by Jorgensen again. Stones across. Great defending by Stones. Away by Rico Lewis. Full-time whistle goes. A 1-1 draw with Chelsea. Manchester City get a little bit lucky there. But I think we could have won that. Doku with a chance. Haaland with a chance. Jorgensen made some 2 big saves. Like Ortega in the Frankfurt game. Well, after a draw in Manchester City, Chelsea pulled the trigger on the sacking of Enzo Maresca. He's been let go from Chelsea. 10th place finish in the Premier League. They're not going to get any better. A draw with City shows they're not going to get any better. But to sack him at this stage of the season, near the end of it, I wonder who takes over from Chelsea. Who is going to be the new Chelsea manager? That'll be very interesting. So final game of the episode time, it's Champions League quarter-final time. Manchester City against Eintracht Frankfurt. 1-0 on aggregate. We go away to Germany, to Frankfurt, to try and get ourselves in a Champions League semi-final. It will be a massive upset if they are the side to knock us out. Liverpool taking Atleti, they're already 2-1 up on aggregate. If Paris Saint-Germain have been knocked out by Real Madrid, so the current holders are out. Real Madrid beat them by 2-1. And Newcastle are knocked out by Juve, the Italian side, who seem to be back to their best and into a European semi-final. Frankfurt is the test. Frankfurt is who we've got to beat. I mean, we're 1-0 down. We've come back against the Athletic Club by 2 goals. We came back in that one. However, that was, of course, at home. Today we go away from home. It's going to be way more difficult, I believe. So it's decided to take on Frankfurt today. Manchester City are without Ruben Diaz, without John Stones, without Mateo Kovacic, who are a little bit tired, so not in the squad today. No Rico Lewis either. Doku on the bench as an impact sub, but he's not quite fit. There with Ake, Nunez, O'Reilly, Nico, Bernardo Silva, Reinders and Oscar Bob. It's Donnarumma who starts in goal. El Hilali, Kusanov, Vardiol and Aitnuri City's back 4. Rodri in the holding role with the 2 number 10s in front. It worked against Bilbao. Hopefully it works there in Shaqiri and Phil Foden, 2 of our most creative players. No Reinders, which is a bit of a surprise. It's Savinho on the right, Marmoush on the left, and Erling Haaland through the middle. 92 rated Erling Haaland now. Donnarumma 91, Rodri 91, the spine of our team all 90 plus rated, and you can tell in the performances we've put in this season. We've been a bit, difficult really a little bit in the Champions League. We've made it difficult for ourselves, haven't we? Let's do it today. Let's get back again and get to that semi-final. So arriving are Manchester City at the Frankfurt Stadion. Erling Haaland, all eyes on him. Omar Mamouche makes his return. Haaland is the top goal scorer in this competition. 13 UEFA Champions League goals. They kept him quiet in the first leg, but can they in the second leg? The 2 sides ready in the tunnel now for this massive game in the quarter-finals. For Frankfurt to get to the Champions League semi-final will be an incredible achievement for the club. And if they get there, they thoroughly deserve it because they beat one of the favourites of the competition in Manchester City on the way. Frankfurt have been impressive. I mean, they had 1 shot, 2 shots in the previous fixture, didn't they, the home leg, and they beat us with it. So we can't complain. That's the way football goes sometimes. Real Madrid have made it to the semi-final. Juventus have made it to the semi-final. It's between us and Frankfurt, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, who can make it to the semi-final if we actually end up playing Liverpool ourselves. Pressure is on. I feel the pressure. And the man to beat between the 6 days, Stefan Ortega, once again. So good the former player against us. We cannot ever have another fantastic performance like that. We cannot let it happen. So this is the Frankfurt side. They do start with Ortega, of course, in goal. It is a back 4 of Christensen, Teatra, Kosh and Brown. Larson and Shaqiri in the midfield too. It's then Uzun, Doan and Bahoya, the goal scorer in their first leg, supporting Burkhardt up top. Really good side. They are one of the best goal scorers in this competition, but also one of the worst defensive sides as well. Tackle by Kusanov is strong, is aggressive. It's a nice one, Uzun. Here's Shaqiri. Oh, difficult pass, and there's Brown cutting out again. Shaqiri could have more to get it more clear. Marmoush goes and nicks the captain, Christensen. Marmoush into Teatra, makes a good challenge on him. Savinho. Haaland's in here. Haaland's onside. On towards Ryan Shaqiri. Under pressure. Back to Ortega. Who lumps it away. Now Hilali heads it down straight to us, and that's a terrible header. Kusanov can't win it. Burkhardt playing in behind. Trouble for City. Frankfurt are in. Burkhardt away from Vardiol. Rodri recovers. Still a chance. Sabiri! What a save, Donnarumma. Foden in there. Can't take it off Shaqiri. Brown drifted inside. Won by Shaqiri. Haaland. Wide to Savinho. Trouble here. Savinho. Haaland is in. Top goal scorer in the competition for a reason. First shot on target. And City are level in this one. Well, I was thinking of making a change at half-time. I am not anymore. 1-1. Back in it. Pouncing a mistake. Phone into Haaland. Well, Ortega made some really good saves in the first leg. Not this time. El Hilali. Space to burst into here for the Moroccan. He does do, and then back to Foden. Marmoush drifts narrow. And Marmoush hits one here, and Ortega makes the save. And Haaland got to get the rebound. It's behind for a corner. But he can hit the Marmoush there. Power on up. Savinho. Shaqiri. Oh, shot is blocked. Shot is blocked, and Ortega had to make a save. Larson. Doesn't. Switch of play. Doan. Oh, away from Ike Newey. Well played. Looking to go back to Doan here. Casanov wrong side. Burkhardt. Vardiol. Well, Vardiol's done really poorly here. And Burkhardt scores. And what is Joško Vardiol doing defensively there? In the UEFA Champions League quarter-final, you can't defend like that. You've got to be stronger. And Donnarumma should maybe save that one. Marmoush, nice take and turn. Haaland. Shaqiri. Reinders. In space. Reinders across to Haaland here. Nearly put it in their own net. Shaqiri. Reinders. Savinho. Across the box. Marmoush against his former side. Saved by Ortega. When he really should be scoring. Foden. Reinders. Shaqiri! Saved by Ortega again. Larson. I've got to hold this ball. Doan. 1 minute. Don't do this to me, game. Rodri away. Full-time whistle goes. Manchester City are out in the quarterfinals of Champions League. And knocked out to Eintracht Frankfurt of all teams. I don't believe it. Defensively, they are so good, and we just couldn't create anything through them. I mean, massive story for them. I thought we'd go far in the Champions League this year. I really did. Perhaps we should have done. What a chance Marmoush misses that Ortega saves as well. That's crushing. I'd like to see the match facts. Both sides have 4 shots. We didn't create enough. I'm so frustrated with myself. That ends today's episode. Manchester City are out with the UEFA Champions League in the quarter-final stage. We went further than last year. Next year we'll be back. Next year we're not losing. Pep Guardiola's side is not losing next year. And if it's going to be Pep Guardiola's last year next year, because we know that his contract is up, we've got to have a UEFA Champions League for him to leave with. Another one. I think the players let him down here today. Thanks for watching. Please like the video if you're not already. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Just the Premier League left to play for Manchester City. Things really not working out the way we thought they would. Still a domestic double is on. You can't say that was an unsuccessful season. We wanted to go far in Europe. I really did. Maybe there's additions to this squad that needs to be made. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.